All right, today on First Cup, you guys have some questions, things to talk about. I'll tell you about my day yesterday, and we're gonna drink some coffee. Stick around. We roll in 15. Very excited to drink this coffee. Very excited to drink my coffee. All right, here we go. In 3, 2. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Today's Tuesday. It's November 30th, 2021. My name is Jeremy. This is my first cup of coffee. Good morning, Andrew and Tommy and Daniel and Dennis and everybody else that's joining for First Cup, whether live or later, watching or listening. I appreciate all of you. Well, yesterday, Cyber Monday, I always say we make a little bit of money on our apparel, and nothing was a better example of making a little bit of money than yesterday's sale. There were orders coming in, and it's like, you made 52 cents on this order. I'm like, man, talk about keeping stuff razor thin. I don't try to mark stuff up more than I have to. And when we do a sale like this at 25% off, it eats up the profit. Good morning, Jenny. Oh no, we did make a little bit of money. Sold a ton of stuff, ton of shirts, ton of hoodies. I think I saw a hat or two go through. Really thankful to everybody that picked stuff up. If you did pick something up yesterday, I'm going to ask when it comes in, please post it on social media. That's why we do the apparel at a low cost. It's meant to be like a marketing thing. You pay a little bit. Well, you pay money. We make a little bit of money because I don't want to lose money, right? It's hard. We're never going to hit it right on the nose. But then if more people see you wearing your stuff, they're more likely to buy something, right? Social proof. It's an important concept. Daniel says, you sent me money back. I sure did, because you bought something that ended up charging you shipping and it wasn't supposed to, and I fixed it and I refunded you the money for the shipping. That happened with 2 or 3 people yesterday. Because in order to keep the free shipping, there are things I have to do for every product, and I forget about that. And somebody will buy something, and I'll just refund them the shipping. It happens. Oh, good morning, Andy. Oh, look at everybody rolling in. Well, other than that, I hope you had a good Monday. Not that that was bad, but I hope on top of that or beside that, because I did. Did I buy anything else? I don't think I bought anything else. There were things I was looking at, but nothing that I felt really strongly about. I've spent a bunch of money already this holiday season. I don't need to spend more. There is something. Where is it? I've talked about this and what I'm doing with this. Um, Daniel, I don't know if your affinity for technology branches into networking, so you may appreciate this. The rest of you, I don't know. And Daniel says, within about 10 minutes, I might add. Well, I was at the computer. I saw it come through. This will be the new core of the network here. Some of you have been on the live stream when the internet connection's gotten shaky. There's no reason for it to be shaky. And the fact that I have 2 internet connections, it's time to combine them. This was always the plan. Actually, this wasn't always the plan. But the fact that I'm spending $130 for 2 connections, I'm not going to save enough dropping one. So this little guy is going to take both of them, and if one of them starts doing wonky things, it's supposed to send all the network traffic over the other one. We will see. I started messing with it yesterday. It's a different interface, different web interface that I'm used to. So it'll take some time. It's been a while since I did a nerdy computer project like that. So as much as it's something that, is work, it's kind of fun. I kind of enjoy it. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, Daniel says he likes TP-Link. TP-Link and TreadNet are kind of my favorite brands because you get so much more from them than you do. There's a time and a place for everything. Right? There's a time and a place where you buy a cheap car. There's a time and a place where you buy an expensive car. There's a time and a place where you're like, you know what? I'm going to get that Corolla because it's just going to last. There's a time and a place where you're like, you know what? I'm going to get that, I don't know, Kia something. And then sometimes you're buying a BMW. It depends on the usage. Depends on what's important. Depends on the money. That, I don't even think that's a Corolla. It's a Nissan. It's fine. It'll be fine. Tommy says those wires are too small to work with. Well, if those wires are too small to work with, then I probably shouldn't ask you to make these cables. Probably my least favorite task in technology, but sometimes it has to happen. Like when we brought Ethernet through there, because the end was too big. So we had to clip it off. And by we, I mean me. So I clipped it off, and then I put a new connector on it. And people who are good at putting those connectors on do it in a minute. Takes me 30. Ugh, hate it. Yeah. Daniel says, I spend my life looking for the good midpoint for kit to sell to my customers. I completely agree. You know, value. We value is something that we kind of lose in conversation, I think, a lot of times. And it comes into play when we talk about like where to train. I've trained at martial arts schools that I didn't think were great, but they were close by, and I learned something and I had fun. The people there were pretty good to be around. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with not buying a Ferrari. Don't let social media and the news and everything tell you have to buy the best thing you can possibly afford, and you should mortgage your house and everything to get whatever the thing is. It's a time and a place. Training, food, look for value. There's generally a sweet spot. That's what you want to find. Good morning, Eric. Well, no more talk about networking other than after today's interviews, I will probably give this a live test and see how it goes, because I'm not throwing that up there and then recording podcast. Today is a recording day. Andrew and I are going to record some episodes, and then I've got one in the afternoon. We're going to have two. Somebody bumped. That's okay. I shouldn't say bumped. They rescheduled. It happens, especially this time of year. Guys, it's almost December. Tomorrow's December. Remember when it was 2019 and now it's almost 2022? Life is insane. It's very weird. All right. Tommy's offering, he says, if you do need stuff pulled, run, wired for you, I would do it. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I try not to need electrical, because taking the walls apart in this house is a nightmare. They never go back well. These are old panels. But anyway, enough of that. So a bunch of stuff yesterday for Cyber Monday. We may or may not have some new items come through between now and the end of the year. We will not be doing any more big promos. You've got First Cup 15. You've got that code. If you've never bought anything, I'll let you guys know. If you've never purchased anything, or if you've never signed for the newsletter, there's a code that you get when you sign up for the newsletter, and it's more than 15%. You get to use it once. So just throwing that out there. You might want to check it out. So we got a couple things that we're talking about. There's a mug design that we're playing with that may or may not come out before the end of the year. I'm working on, getting warm. I'm working on the 2022 apparel marketing sale sort of plan. we didn't handle it cohesively this year. Probably because the end of 2020 was insane and we were all hiding. But now with the, I'm not going to say it. I want to make jokes. Some of them might be insensitive, but it's my nature. But I'm holding my tongue. What else did I do yesterday? Went to the gym, had a great workout, was going to go to the range, was not in the mood to go to the range because I went to the bank for what I thought was going to be a 5-minute thing, and I was there for an hour. And, shooting guns when you're annoyed, probably not a great idea. Got to be focused. You got to pay attention, right? These are dangerous tools. But I did have a good workout, played outside with a dog at the gym. The gym dog is a big feature, a big draw for me to go to the gym. And came home, made some dinner. That was it. Watched some. You know what I finished watching last night? I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's on HBO Max. White Lotus. First couple episodes, I was like, all right, this is interesting. And then the second couple episodes, I was like, really? And then my HBO Max expired. I rotate through. I do one at a time, one streaming service at a time. And HBO Max came back around. I was like, all right, let's watch this. The last episode was actually kind of good. It was like a 6-episode, kind of a mini series sort of thing. It was kind of good. I'm glad I watched it. Wasn't great, but it was kind of good. Had some good actors in there. It was well done. So today, like I said, Andrew and I are recording one interview, and I'm just getting work done in between. Just more work in between, work. That's it. Daniel says, we're just all agreeing to forget the last 2 years happened, right? I would like to. Can we just pretend 2020 and 2021 didn't happen? These have not been great years. I mean, honestly, for some of us, they have been. I wouldn't say they've been great, but some things have definitely moved forward. I mean, if we look at it just from whistlekick's perspective, I don't want to get rid of the last couple of years. We've had some great stuff happen. Free training this year was pretty remarkable. All the wonderful guests we've had. The fact that everybody learned how to use Zoom and what it was. We no longer. So we do this over Skype? No, we use Zoom. What's Zoom? It's like Skype. So you want my Skype handle? No. I'm going to give you a link. You're going to get it. Like email? Actual conversations. Andrew has those conversations now. I don't have to have those anymore. Although I don't think anybody has to have them anymore because everybody knows what Zoom is. Daniel says, I've fallen down a real rabbit hole of American TV this weekend. Found a show on Amazon called Bar Rescue. It's very American, but I can't stop watching. It's like a car crash on TV. I think I've watched 25 episodes over 3 days. That's how most reality TV is. I don't know how much reality TV you get in the UK, but most of it is a car crash in real time. And it's put together as such. It's edited in that way. Real life is not interesting enough to make that show, to make any show. There's got to be a hook. There's got to be conflict. As martial artists, we inherently try to avoid conflict, and yet TV wants conflict. If I was going to put together a show called, I don't know, Dojo Rescue, it would have to be gimmicky like that. It couldn't be something like martial arts school restoration, Dojo Rescue, or 12 days until dojo death. I don't know, something. It would have to be gimmicky. We'd have to find ways to introduce conflict. We'd have to have, half the students would have to be disastrous, and some of the higher ranks would have to be arrogant, and we'd have to lean into that. Oh, you know what showed up yesterday? My paperback copy of my book. It's weird to get a book with your face on it. It's my face on a book. Look how thick this book is. It's a solid book. Because these chapters, or these pages, aren't fully filled out. They're simple. That was the whole concept. Oh, hey, we didn't put page numbers in this. I don't know that we need page numbers. I think we talked about that. The fact that we list the days at the top. We did a good job laying this out. And by we, I mean Jenny. Nice job, Jenny. All right, let's see what you guys all gave me to talk about. Tommy says, my cousin is one of the producers of Survivor. He thought it would be a one-year gig, LOL. You can blame him for the reality TV craze. Well, it's certain people, but it's also the cost. If you take a look at the economics of reality TV, it's something like $100,000 per 30 minutes, per 22 minutes of programming versus, I want to say scripted TV, conventionally scripted TV is like $1 million for that same length of time. So much, much more expensive. Yeah, they're not going to pull in as many ads, and the ads that they're going to be able to put on aren't going to be quite as big. But as people moved away, and we're skipping over ads and everything, yeah, it was a necessary step. Just like airplanes getting more terrible because we all stopped paying full price and created pressure, and they had to find ways to cut costs. So instead of getting a really nice meal, or at least a halfway decent meal, or even snacks, you have Spirit Airlines, where you bring your own seat cushions. That's a joke. Probably not even a funny one. All right, so I asked you guys to leave me some stuff yesterday. Frank's got a couple more quotes for us for Native American Heritage Month, and Dennis brought us a question that he saw on another Facebook page. Let's go through Frank's stuff first. Don't be afraid to cry. It will free your mind of sorrowful thoughts. Apparently that's a Hopi saying. Expressing emotion is important. Whether it's anger or it's fear or it's crying, sadness. We've been conditioned in modern society to not express negative emotion. I have a hard time with it. I really do. There are certain people I will express negative emotion around. I will, express that I am afraid or I am sad or I'm angry. But most of the time, I'm not doing that. I'll do it in private. I'll throw things and stomp around and have my own temper tantrum. Because you got to get rid of that stuff. It does build up. I don't know that we fully understand the mechanisms at this point, but that stuff does build up. It does gel in your body if you don't release it. There's nothing that happens in our body that creates pressure in an attempt to leave that holding on to is a good thing. It's not, if you gotta use the bathroom, you don't want to not use the bathroom, right? If you've got to sneeze, holding on to that sneeze, cough, etc. I'm trying to express this point without being too gross. I think you know where I'm going. Emotions are the same thing. Honor them, let them out at a good time and place, right? Like middle of a job interview, you probably don't want to be sobbing. So sob, the night before. So your eyes aren't all bloodshot when you go in. Tommy says that is a Hopi prayer. Okay, I did not know. And just because you have an emotion doesn't mean it's a good one and doesn't mean you need to act on it, right? There's a difference between honoring the emotion, expressing the emotion, and taking action based on that emotion. If I'm sad, I may feel like taking some kind of external action that helps justify my sadness. Anger. The place we see this the most? Feelings of inadequacy. When people feel less than, they will take self-destructive action to justify the feeling. It's not good. That's not healthy. We do have a choice. Andrew is suggesting that people feel free to send him more questions for the rapid fire Q&A. We'll do a Q&A. Dennis says, I will now have, I second that emotion, playing in my head all day. Hey, there are worse things to play in your head. Next. It is better to have less thunder in the mouth and more lightning in the hand. It's an Apache statement saying, it is better to have less thunder in the mouth and more lightning in the hand. I think we could look at that in a few different ways, but what's the easiest? Less talk, more action. Don't be a loud mouth. Get stuff done. It's pretty straightforward. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Better to spend more time listening, right? Like that. It's always interested me that we're given this concept. Listen, pay attention, learn. And so often I feel like most people didn't get the message. When people ask me, how do you know about this or that? Or let's be real. I know a bunch about a bunch of stuff. I know a little bit about a lot of stuff. Most of it comes from listening, hearing people talk, and connecting dots. What do most people do? Most people dismiss, maybe I shouldn't say most. Many people will dismiss what everyone says. Oh, that person has this one thing about them that I don't like or disagree with. Thus, every single thing they say is not worth my time. Okay. What's the Latin term for that? Reductio ad absurdum. If you can find one thing, one element to your opponent's argument that is illogical, you can then just wantonly dismiss everything they say because everything they say must be ridiculous. That's not how it works. And funny enough, if you look for one thing, you'll find it. This is the heart of martial artists disagreeing about just about everything. Well, this particular style doesn't teach this one thing that I think is important. Thus, the whole style is dumb and a waste of time. Okay. Okay. I think I made my coffee a little weak. Makes me sad. It's good, just it's a little weak. Maybe if we pour some more in, it'll be better. Let's try it. Coffee. All right. And now to finish up the show, Dennis says, saw this on a Black Belt magazine post today and thought it was a good question for us as well. What is the best martial arts advice you've ever been given? And I hope those of you in the chat will share because I want to feature your advice as well as mine. What's the best martial arts advice I've ever? It probably goes all the way back to being a kid and feeling inadequate and comparing myself to the other kids around, one of whom I don't know if I would have called Sean my rival, But we were both vying for the instructor's attention. Sean happened to be the instructor's son. He was bigger, he was stronger. There were plenty of things about what he did, and even now, that he has some real skill that I will likely never have. But I've got plenty of things that he doesn't and didn't. And I constantly heard, don't worry about what Sean's doing. Don't worry about what this person or that person. Worry about yourself. And that's the biggest challenge, I think, for a lot of us in a martial arts class setting. You want to feel like you're doing a good job, and it's natural to look at what other people are doing and compare yourself. It's human nature. But don't worry so much about what other people are doing. Daniel says, keep trying. Keep trying. I would agree. There's, if you keep showing up, if you keep putting in the effort, right, things are going to happen. Kelly says, good morning, Kelly. My instructor reminded me, always teach from your heart. That's great advice. Dennis says, keep an open mind. Keep learning. Everyone has something to teach. I like that. Ooh. Tommy's got a great one. Best advice, see you next class. If you keep showing up, good things happen. Martial arts is simple. It's not easy. Show up, work hard, you listen, do your best. Everything else falls into place. And you can apply that same logic to just about everything. Your job, your relationship, working out, building a house. As long as you keep showing up, as long as you keep working hard, as long as you listen to the feedback, which sometimes is verbal, sometimes it's not, it'll happen eventually. It might be a longer timetable than you wanted, but it's not always up to you. And so maybe that's the attitude we take into today. Show up, try hard, listen, trust the process. Acknowledge that we tend to want things to happen faster than they do. There's a saying that a lot of people will have in starting a business, people, especially people who have started multiple businesses. Put together that business, your business plan, or whatever, your predictions. It's going to take twice as long. It's going to take 10 times as long and twice as much. Yep. In our case, more than twice as much. It's okay. We're getting there. And Daniel is going for rounding points here. Train hard, smile, and have a good day. Technically, it's great day. Have a great day. I don't generally wish people to have a good day. Have a great day. Where I wanted to take that, but it hits the ear a little bit off. Some of you may get where this is from. I'm not even going to tell you. Make a great day. I wanted to be train hard, smile, and make a great day. But I thought that distracted from the overall sentiment. So we didn't do that one. Okay. That's it. Another episode of First Cup comes to an end. A screeching halt. Not really. Remember, if you want to support us, you got some options. Patreon.com/whistlekick. And of course, all the stuff at whistlekick.com. Use the code FirstCup15. I'll tell you what, for all of you in this mix, are there apparel items that you would like? Is there a particular something to do with a t-shirt or a sweatshirt or a hat or whatever? You all show up, I welcome your feedback. If you've got an idea for a design, let me know. Honestly, the hardest part for me is coming up with the design. If I can get the concept and I can sketch it out and then I can hire a designer, it ends up in the store. That's what happened with the dragon hoodie, which you all seem to love, a bunch of you anyway. I came up with a concept based on something I saw, and I found a designer, and we kicked some things back and forth, and then boom, now it's on the internet. And of course, for tomorrow's show, please leave your questions and comments in the Facebook group, facebook.com/firstcupwithjeremy. Comments, screaming it. Jenny says, I love to say, make a great day. It's empowering. Absolutely. You have a wonderful day as well, Andy. Tommy says, I love the 3/4 shirts, and the sweatshirts are awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you. We've got, we might have 1 or 2 new designs hit by the end of the year. My goal for next year is that we have 1 new design launch per month. I wanted to do that this year. I just didn't have it. I didn't have the juice. Did not have the juice. All right. You guys have a good one. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care. Peace.